श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। वागीशाद्याः सुमनसः सर्वार्थानामुपक्रमे यन्नत्वा कृतकृत्या स्युः तं नमामि गजाननं। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। यो नित्यमच्युतपदाम्बुजयुग्मरुक्मव्यामोहतस्तदितराणि तृणाय मेने अस्मद्गुरोः भगवतोऽस्य दयैकसिन्धोः रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये। यस्य स्मरणमात्रेण द्वैतवासना प्रमुच्यते बोधात्मकाय नमस्तस्मै भगवते श्रीरमणमहर्षे। हृदाकाशे सदा भानुतं शान्तम् आनन्दरूपिणं ज्ञानभाण्महं वन्दे सद्गुरुं श्रीसत्यसायिनं मम अन्तर्यामिनं। धोर्भिर्युक्ता चतुर्भिस्फटिकमणिमयीमक्षमालां ददानास्तेनैकेन पद्मं सितमपि च शुकं पुस्तकं चापरेण भासा कुन्देन्दुशङ्खस्फटिकमणिनिभा समाना समाना सा मे वाग्देवतेयं निवसतु वदने सर्वदा सुप्रसन्ना। कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरमधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलं। वाल्मीकिर्मुनिसिंहस्य कवितावनचारिणः शृण्वन् रामकथानादं को न याति परां गतिं। यः पिबन् सततं रामचरितामृतसागरम् अतृप्तस्तं मुनिं वन्दे प्राचेतसमकल्मषं। गोष्पदीकृतवारीशमशकीकृतराक्षसं रामायणमहामालारत्नं वन्दे अनिलात्मजम् अञ्जनानन्दनं वीरं जानकीशोकनाशनं। कपीशमक्षान्तारं वन्दे लङ्काभयङ्करम्। उल्लङ्घ्य सिन्धोः सलिलं सलिलं यशोकवन्यं जनकात्मजायाः आदाय तेनैव ददाह लङ्कां नमामि तं प्राञ्जलिराञ्जनेयम्। आञ्जनेयमतिपाटलाननं काञ्चनाद्रिकमणीयविग्रहं पारिजाततरुमूलवासिनं भावयामि पवमाननन्दनं। यत्र यत्र रघुनाथकीर्तनं तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिं बाष्पवारि परिपूर्णलोचनं मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकं। मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूतमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि। वाल्मीकिगिरिसम्भूता रामसागरगामिनि पुनातिभुवनं पुण्या रामायण महानदी। वेदवेद्ये परे पुंसी जाते दशरथात्मजे वेदप्राचेतसादासीत् साक्षात् रामायणात्मना। तदुपगतसमाससन्धियोगं सममधुरोपनार्थवाक्यबद्धं रघुवरचरितं मुनिप्रणीतं दशशरसश्चमतं निशामयध्वं। मानिषादप्रतिष्ठां त्वमगमशाश्वती समाह यत्करं च मिथुनादेकम् अवधीः काममोहितम्। आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम्। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। वैदेहीसहितं सरद्रुमतले हैमे महामण्डपे मध्ये पुष्पकमासने मणिमये वीरासने सुस्थितमग्रे वाचयति प्रपञ्चनसुते तत्त्वमुनिभ्यः परं व्याख्यान्तं भरतादिविपरिवृतं रामं भजे श्यामलं। वामे भूमिसुतापरश्च हनुमान् पश्चात् सुमित्रासुतः शत्रुघ्नो भरतश्च पार्श्वदलयोः वायुवादुकोणेषु च सुग्रीवश्च विभीषणश्च युवराट् तारासुतो जाम्बवान् मध्ये नीलसरोजकोमलरुचिं रामं भजे श्यामलं। गुरुवर्ते त्यक्तराज्यो व्यचरदनुवनं पद्मपद्भ्यां प्रियायाः पाणिस्पर्शाक्षमाभ्यां लिखितपतरुजो यो हरीन्द्रानुजाभ्यां वैरूप्या शूर्पणख्या प्रियविरहरुषारापितभ्रूविजृम्भ ततस्ताब्धिर्बद्धसेतुः कलदवदघनः कौशलेन्द्रोऽवतान्नः। जानकीकान्तस्मरणं जय जय राम राम। आंजनेय स्वामी की जय। Rama acquired the knowledge of the various astras that were bestowed upon him by Vishwamitra Maharshi. After having completed this second knowledge transfer, they start proceeding on their journey. And as they come, they see a parvata, a mountain, a mountain there. And Rama, looking at that place, he asks Vishwamitra Maharshi, what is this place? What is this place? Darshaniyama irke. It is very pleasant to look at. Ativa manoramama irke. It is very attractive to the mind. It is in stark contrast to the other forest where Tataka was living. And I take it that we have left the environs of Tataka's haunt. Now we have come to a new place. What is this place? This seems to be filled with great positive energy. Prashantama irke. It is very nice. What is this place? Abdina Rama asks the question. The Ketone Vishwamitra replies to him, Appa Rama, this is the place where we are going to. This is the ashrama where the yajna, I am trying to do the yajna. This is the place where I have been living for these last few years. And this place has got an even greater glory. Yenadu appadina iha Rama Mahabaho Vishnu Deva Varah Prabhu Varshani Su Bahuniha Tata Yugashatani Cha Tapascharana Yogartam Uvasa Sumahatapa. Hey Rama, here in this very place, for the sake of carrying out tapasya, tapascharana yogartha, in order to do tapasya for many innumerable number of years constituting yuga shatani cha, hundreds of yugas, Sakshat Bhagavan Deva Varaha, the supreme amongst all the gods, Prabhuhu, the Lord, Vishnuhu, Bhagavan Vishnu lived here doing tapasya here. Yesha Purvashramo Rama Vamanasya Mahatmanaha Siddhashramiti Kyata Siddho Hyatra Mahatapaha. This ashrama is known as Siddhashrama, and this used to be the ashrama of Vamana. Bhagavan in his Vamana avataram spent time here doing tapasya here. And since he succeeded in his tapasya here, this place, he attained siddhi or success in his tapas. Therefore, this place is called Siddha Ashrama. Appadinu cholli Vishwamitra briefly narrates the story of how Vamana came. Anna, this juncture we have got to take a little pause. Look at Rama's youth. What an extraordinary good fortune he has got that he is spending his young formative years influenced in this manner. Enadunna, he grew up taught by Vashishta, Brahmarishi Vashishta, who is a rishi. Adakaprama he has come under the tutelage of Maharshi Vishwamitra, and as a part of that journey he first visited the ashrama where Shiva performed tapas, and now he has come to the place where Vishnu has performed tapas. Ramayanam starts with tapa, tapasvadhyaya niratam. Abdina Ramayana, the work itself starts with the word tapa. It is filled with tapasvis, it is filled with tapasya, and it shows even how the greatest divinities also are performing tapasya. Shiva is doing tapasya, Vishnu is doing tapasya. Yeah. The problem with our mythological familiarity is tapas abdinale. The moment we hear the word tapas, we only think of Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, Mahishasura, Bhasmasura. அப்படிங்கிற கூட்டம் தான் நமக்கு ஞாபகம் வரும், because they all do tapasya. Brahma comes, they get boons from Brahma. Adilla tapas. So we think, oh, tapasya is something that is done to accomplish something. You do tapas so that you can acquire boons. Abdinu we may have a wrong understanding in our minds. And when we look at this, Maharshis are doing tapasya. Trimurtis are doing tapasya. Shiva is doing tapasya. Vishnu is doing tapasya. Tapasya na enna? What is this tapasya? What is this tapa? Abdina, the eye having fallen, to not let it rise again is tapasya. Mahadidam tapaha nu solradu. Priya tapasya. Enadinna, to seek out the source of our existence of our origin, of our being, and to remain there. And to remain there, அதற்கே இதுதான் தபஸ்னு பேர். உதித்த இடத்தில் ஒடுங்கி இருத்தல். பகவான் அதை ரமண பகவான் எக்ஸ்பிளைன்ஸ் இட் வெரி பியூட்டிஃபுல்லி. உதித்த இடத்தில் ஒடுங்கி இருத்தல். நம்ம எங்கேருந்து உதித்தமோ அந்த இடத்துல இருத்தல் மாத்திரம் இல்ல, அங்க ஒடுங்கி இருத்தல். உதித்த இடம் எது அப்படின்னா, the place where we sprung forth from. உதித்த இடம், where we arose, there to subside and stay. And to stay. Tishtati sada அப்படின்னு ஆச்சாரியா refers to it. உபேதி திஷ்டதி சதா, reach there and stay there. அது எதுவா வேணாலும் இருக்கலாம். It can be the Atma, the source. It can be, if you want to project it as Bhagavan, does not matter what it is. ஆனால் உன் அடிகள் அமர்ந்து புகுந்தேனே அப்படின்னு ஆழ்வார் சொல்ற மாதிரி, அந்த புகுறது, to enter into it and abide there is tapasya. அப்போ இந்த tapasya anybody can do, everybody should do. This is not the Hiranyakashipu type of tapasya or Ravana type of tapasya. This is the tapasya that is done by even Shiva, Vishnu, etc. எல்லாரும் பண்ணக்கூடிய தபஸ் இது. அப்போ even the greatest deities are doing tapasyaங்கும் பொழுது Rama is brought up, he is shown all of these places. பார்த்தேடா எவ்வளோ அழகா இருக்கு பார்த்தேடா. அதாவது as parents, what should we do அப்படின்னா, we should also take our children holiday. எங்க கூட்டின்னு போகணும்? where should we go for a holiday அப்படின்னா, இந்த மாதிரி க்ஷேத்திரத்துக்கு போகணும். ஏதோ அம்யூஸ்மெண்ட் எல்லாம் போகலாம், அதெல்லாம் சும்மா என்ன ட்ரீம் வேர்ல்டு, மூவி வேர்ல்டு, டிஸ்னி வேர்ல்டு, மண்ணாங்கட்டி வேர்ல்டு, சித்தாசிரமா. ராமர் ஹாலிடே கூட்டின்னு போகிற சித்தாசிரமத்துக்கு கூட்டிட்டு போகிறார், காமாசிரமத்துக்கு கூட்டிட்டு போகிறார். Because at that age, when children are young and impressionable, these things will get into them. அதை விட்டு சும்மா ஷ்ரெக்கு கூட்டிட்டு போனேன், ஃப்ரோசன் கூட்டிட்டு போனேன்னா those things will get into them. இன்னொரு லெசன் நமக்கு, again something we learn from here. What is it that we expose ourselves during that age? எல்லாம் என்ன 12 வயசு நாம இருக்கு, 12 years of age. அந்த டயத்தில் what is it that you give exposure to? அதுதான் ரொம்ப important. When you expose them to these kind of things at that young age itself, later on also it will come and abide with them, stay with them and help us in the long run. அப்படியா இப்படி Rama is walking through all these tapobhumis. இங்க Vishwamitra narrates a story of how Mahabali Chakravarti had vanquished Indra and was ruling over this kingdom. He had become famous in all the three worlds. Appa when he was performing a sacrifice, appa all the devas along with Agni went to Bhagavan Shriman Narayana and prayed to him. Vishnu கிட்ட போய் எல்லாம் பிரார்த்தனை பண்ணிடலாம், இங்கே தான் பிரார்த்தனை பண்ணலாம். இஹ ஆசிரமே அப்படின்னு சொல்றார். பலேஸ்து யஜமானஸ்ய தேவசா அக்னி புரோகமாக சமாகம்ய ஸ்வயம் சைவ விஷ்ணு மூச்சுர் இஹ ஆசிரமே. இந்த ஆசிரமத்துக்கு போய் விஷ்ணு கிட்ட சொன்னாலாம். They all went to Vishnu. When he was doing tapasya in this ashrama, they said, Prabhu, Vairochanihi Bali, the son of Virochana, is performing an extraordinary yajna. Adila, before that yajna is completed, please help us. எங்களுக்கு you've got to be favorable towards us. He has conquered all of us. அதில் நீங்கள் தான் எப்படியாவது you've got to make sure that the welfare of the devas is accomplished அப்படின்னு சொன்னார். In the meantime, while this was going on, etasmin antare, in the meantime, Kashyapo Agni Samaprabha Aditya Sagito Rama Deepyamana Ivaujasa Devi Sahayo Bhagavan Divyam Varsha Sahasrakam Vratam Samapya Varadam Tushtava Madhusudanam. In the meantime, Kashyapa, who was as resplendent as fire itself, radiating luster, along with Aditi, his wife, had completed 1000 years of tapasya, and Bhagavan became pleased with Aditi and appeared in front of her and said, what boon do you want? And Ketaram, appa solra, they praised Bhagavan. Tushtavaha, they praised Bhagavan who appeared in front of them. எப்படி பிரைஸ் பண்ணான்னு சொல்ற அழகா ஒரு சின்ன ஒரு ஸ்துதி இருக்கு ராமாயணத்துல. தபோமயம் தபோராஷிம் தபோமூர்த்திம் தபாத்மகம் தபசா த்வாம் சுதப்தேன பஷ்யாமி புருஷோத்தமம். Bhagavan, when he appeared in front of Kashyapa and Aditi, they were praised in this manner, it seems. Bhagavan was praised in this manner, Tapomayam. Oh, one who is endowed with great tapasya, Tapomayam, one who is filled with tapasya. Tapo Rashim, one who is just a big mass of tapasya. Tapo Murtim, one whose very form itself is tapasya. Tapatmakam, whose Atma is tapasya. Who is the Atma of tapasya? Who is the Atma of tapasya? Bhagavan எப்படி ஸ்துதி பண்றா பாருங்கோ. தபோமயம் தபோராஷிம் தபோமூர்த்திம் தபாத்மகம். தபஸ்வரூபமான பகவான் அப்படின்னு. பகவானுடைய ஸ்வரூபம் என்ன? தபஸ் தான் பகவானோட ஸ்வரூபம். தபஸ் பண்ணி பகவான் அடையணும்னு இல்லை, தபஸே பகவத் ஸ்வரூபம்னு காமிக்கிறான். One need not attain the Lord through tapasya. Tapasya itself is the Lord. அப்படி தபோமயமான தபசா துவாம் சுதப்தேன, I have propitiated you through tapasya and therefore pashyami purushottamam. Hey Purushottama, I am beholding you in front of me. Sharire tava pashyami jagat sarvamidam prabho. Tvam anadir anirdesha swamagam sharanam gataha. And in your form, in your body, I see the entire universe. Sarvam jagat pashyami. I am able to see the entire universe present inside you. You are beginningless, you are indescribable, indefinable, and in you I surrender, I take refuge in you. When the couple surrendered to Bhagavan and prayed to Bhagavan in this manner, Bhagavan was very happy and he said, Bhadramte, may all good come to you. Ask me, what boon do you want? Kashyapa said, please grant us a boon, grant a boon for Aditi, for myself, for all the devas, in such a way that you can help these sorrow-stricken devas. Please be born to us as our son. Be born to us as a son to this Aditi and to myself, and as a result of it, the sorrow of the devas will be removed. When they prayed to Bhagavan, Bhagavan naturally agreed to that, accepted that, and because this tapasya was successful here, Avachanna, Ayam Siddhashramo Nama Prasadate Bhavishyati. Bhagavane, bless this place where I have attained success to be called Siddhashrama. Anga, that is where Vamana Avataram also takes place. Bhagavan took the form of Vamana. அதுக்கப்புறமா தெரியுமே கதை தான். We know the story how Bhagavan went to Mahabali Chakravarti's Yajnashala. அங்கே போய் asked for 3 paces, 3 kraman அப்படின்னு சொல்லி 3 அடி. He asked for 3 paces of land, and that having been granted to him, he measured all the 3 worlds, restrained Mahabali Chakravarti. எல்லாம் பண்ணார். அப்பேற்பட்ட great story. But the starting for that, the origin of that is this ashrama where all success comes to us. This ashrama which was previously Vamana's ashrama, and after Kashyapa Prajapati kapra our Pullayanaala Vamanuடைய ashramam. Indra also is Kashyapa's son. Ana Indra was busy ruling. Bhagavan on the other hand decided to do tapasya. எதுக்கு பகவான் தபஸ்யா பண்றான் அப்படின்னா, பகவான் is doing tapasya for the welfare of the world தான். Tenaish purvamakranta ashrama shramanashanaha. It is a true ashrama. Shramanashanaha, it removes all fatigue. It was previously under the possession of Vamana, but now because of my bhakti to him, he has given it to me. எனக்கு கொடுத்திருக்கார். பக்தியா மயாபி அப்படின்னு. As his devotee, he has given it to me. இங்கதான் I am doing my yajna, and here is where the Rakshasas are prowling around, and you have got to put an end to them here itself. Come, let us go to this Siddhashrama. இந்த சித்தாசிரமம் இருக்கே, அப்பா ராமா, Tadashrama padam tata tavapye tadyata mama. Hey Rama, let us go to the Siddhashrama. It is equally yours as much as it is mine. As much as it is mine, it is yours. Originally it is yours. As much as it is yours only, it is mine. This is originally yours unto you. It is submitted once again. It is very much yours. Vishwamitra is so happy, so pleased with Rama, so much in love with Rama. He says, all that is mine is yours. Come, let us go to this ashrama. Along with Vishwamitra Maharshi, Rama and Lakshmana enter into Siddhashrama. The Pathodane, all the people of Siddhashrama who are waiting there for Vishwamitra to come back. Vishwamitra has been living there doing tapasya for a long time, doing yajna. All of his disciples are all gathered around there, and he says, wait, I will go to Dasharatha Chakravarti and I will bring back his son. Now he is finally returned. And all the tapasvis who were there have been waiting for their guru to come back to them. As soon as they saw him, they immediately jumped up. Munayas sarve Utpattayotpatya அப்படின்னு சொன்னா. Utpatya அப்படின்னா jumping up in joy. They got up and they got up அப்படின்னு அர்த்தம். Got up and got up, they jumped up in earth. They jumped up in joy as soon as they saw Vishwamitra coming close. They welcomed their guru back. At the same time, they looked at these two sagacious princes that have come along with him. They extended their welcome to Rama and Lakshmana also. All of them went in, they rested for a while. Now the yajna will take place properly. We don't have to worry about anything. Vishwamitra handed the two boys to the rest of his disciples, and he went and started getting ready, getting into the initiation, the diksha he had to take for getting into the yajna. The night was spent comfortably by the two princes. Next morning when they got up, what did they do? Karthalan enna pannuva? Prabhata kale chottaya purvam sandhyam upasya cha Sprishtodakau suchi japyam samapya niyamena cha. In the morning they got up, they did sandhya, they did japa. Japam tapam. Japa tapa satatam. Yamabar japam tapam liye Ramayana modin. Vishwamitra entered into his diksha. All the other rishis told Rama, you have to protect this yajna for 6 nights starting from today. Now that our guru has taken diksha, he will not talk to anybody, he will enter into mauna. Munir maunitvam chagamishyati. Our maunattukala he will get into mauna, he will not speak anything anymore. Now you've got to guard this place for 6 days and 6 nights. Usually on the 6th night only these fellows will come. They understand, they know, they have their spies. As soon as this yajna started, they will get ready. On the 6th night, they will come. Adhanala, you have got to be extra careful on the 6th day, 6th night. So from now on, please start guarding it. Those two archers positioned themselves. They stood in appropriate strategic points, vantage points, to make sure that the reach of their arrows will cover the entire yajnashala and keep it safe from the Asuras who are going to come, the Rakshasas who are going to come. Time passed. When time passed, finally the 6th day arrived. Lakshmana, be careful. 6th day vandurtu. 6th day has come. Better be careful. Lakshmana is ready now. Ready Lakshmana. 5 days went. Even without sleep, they were attending upon it. Not even taking any rest, they were standing there, protecting this yajna of Vishwamitra. Correct 6th day, important day. When the day's activities are all going on, then at that time with a loud noise, covering the entire sky with the power of their Maya, two Rakshasas, Maricha and Subahu, rushed there. With fearful appearance, along with all their other Rakshasas also, they all appeared there and started to rain streams of blood into the sacrificial altar. அவள் அப்படி தான் ஜென்ரலாக பண்ணுவாளாம். அது 6 days they needed to collect all the blood போல் இருக்கு. அதனால collecting blood in various parts, blood and flesh and other things, they will come and start desecrating the holy place by pouring all of that into it. அதெல்லாம் பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சுட்டா they started doing it. Immediately Rama rushed forward to stop it from happening. நேரம் அங்கேருந்து வந்து ராமர் அங்கேருந்து பார்க்கிறார். he sees them coming ready with all of this. Immediately Rama tells Lakshmana, லக்ஷ்மண் கிட்ட சொல்றார், பஷ்ய லக்ஷ்மணா, லக்ஷ்மணா பாருடா, லக்ஷ்மணா just see, இந்த ரிஷி கொடுத்தார் இல்லையா ஒரு அஸ்திரம், நமக்கு மானவாஸ்திரம்னு ஒரு அஸ்திரம் கொடுத்தார், மனுஸ் அஸ்திரம். அது அந்த மானவாஸ்திரத்தை வச்சுட்டு with that மானவாஸ்திரம் I shall chase away all of these fellows, I will blow them away like clouds scattered by winds, I will blow these rakshasas who eat human flesh away அப்படின்னு சொல்றார் ராமர். அப்படின்னு சொல்லி அந்த மானவாஸ்திரத்தை எடுத்து he hurls that manavastra on the chest of Maricha. அது அடி ஒரு அடி பட்டது, Maricha went flying across 100 yojanas and fell into the ocean. ஒரே அடி அவன் நேர he went and fell into the ocean. அவனை கொல்லல. பகவான் did not kill him. பகவான் has a role for him later on. This fellow has to come back அப்படிங்கிறதுனால சகாயம் பண்ணணும் நமக்கு இவன். அதனால பகவான் has left him be. He did not finish him off. He just sent him, threw him aside. கவத்தியா அப்ப சொல்றார், பஷ்ய லக்ஷ்மணா, ஷீதேஷு மானவோ தர்ம சம்ஹிதம் மோஹயித்வா நயத்யேனோ நச பிராணைர் வியுஜ்யத. Hey Lakshmana, look at this manavastra. Look how it has acted. It has gone and it has not killed him, but it has thrown him aside. அப்படின்னு it has not killed him, but it has rendered him unconscious. அங்கே போய் தள்ளி விட்டுட்டு பார் அப்படி. இதில் there's a difference in the recensions, two versions. In one version it also says karishyami na sandeho notsahe hantumidrishan. Rama says, I don't feel like killing this fellow, அதனால I will use the manavastra on him so that I will render him incapacitated, but I will not kill him. ஏன்னா this fellow has to come back later, அதனால I don't want to kill him அப்படின்னு சொல்லி with the manavastra he is thrown aside. அதுக்குள்ள சுபாஹு is there. அவனை பார்த்த உடனே பகவான் என்ன சொல்றார் அப்படின்னா, இமானபி வதிஷ்யாமி அப்படிங்கிற, these people I will kill, rest of these fellows I will kill. இதுல ஒரே ஒரு fellow மாத்திரம் he wanted him kept aside, அதனால he threw him aside. முதல்ல first he took care of that fellow lest he become a collateral damage. சண்டை என்ன போட்டுச்சு, அவன் வேடப்படாது, he is important fellow. அதனால பகவான் what he did was with one single arrow he pushed him, chased him away. All the other asuras were there. இவாள் எல்லாரையும் பகவான் சொன்னா, இவாள் எல்லாரையும் இமானபி வதிஷ்யாமி, இவாள் எல்லாம் கொண்டுடுவேன் நான், I am going to destroy all of them அப்படின்னு சொல்லி. What did Rama do அப்படின்னா, he took the Agni Astra, the astra that is presided over by the deity of fire, Agni. The Agni Astratanala he hurled it at the chest of Subahu. Then and there Subahu struck by it, fell down dead. And all the other remaining Rakshasas who were there were all killed. Vayavi Asrata vachinda Bhagavan killed all of them. Easily all these Rakshasas who were giving so much trouble for so many occasions, so many days to these rishis were all killed by Rama very easily. With Manavastra, Maricha was thrown 100 yojanas distance into the ocean. With the Agni Astra, Subahu was killed, and with Vayu Astra, the rest of the Rakshasas who were their followers were all destroyed by Sri Ramachandra. இப்படியா பண்ணி, like Indra standing there after having succeeded over the Asuras, Rama was standing there after having killed these Rakshasas. Vishwamitra எல்லாம் பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கார். அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு he is performing his yajna, but finally he completed the yajna. When he finished his yajna, he got up and said, Kritarthosmi mahabaho kritum kritam guru vachastvaya siddhashramamidam satyam kritam rama mahayashaha. Rama, my yajna has been completed. You also have successfully obeyed the words, the commands of your father. You have executed them well. Hey Mahayashaha, O illustrious one, by your grace, Siddhashrama has lived true to its name. Definitely we have accomplished success here. Abdi. Madhya Rama accomplished this job of killing Subahu and the rest of his cohorts and hurling Maricha away. That night they rested there. Everybody was happy. Successful completion where I had to. Everybody was very happy. next morning again when they all woke up, அங்கே போய் நின்னா எல்லாம் இதுக்கு தான் வந்தோம், we came here for this task. Vishwamitra Maharishi brought us here so that his yajna can be completed. Yajna has been completed. But next, அதுக்காக we cannot leave without him giving permission. அதனால they came and stood there and saluted the rishi and they said, we are your servants standing here ready to fulfill any other order that you have for us. Imau sma munishardula kinkarau samupastito ajñapaya yateshtam vai shasanam karavavakim. What else is there for us to do? Please order us as you feel right, as you feel fit. Whatever it is that you have got to do, we will do it. அப்படின்னு உடனே இங்கே போ விஸ்வாமித்ர மகரிஷி சொல்றார், பசங்களா, மைதிலஸ்ய நரஸ்ரேஷ்ட ஜனகஸ்ய பவிஷ்யதி. மிதிலா தேசத்துல ஜனக மகாராஜா இருக்கார். ஜனக மகாராஜா lives in Mithila. He is performing a yajna. Let us go there. Let us go to the yajna. அங்க in that yajna there is a dhanurathnam, adbhutam dhanurathnam. There is a beautiful gem of a bow that is present there. Why don't you come and have a look at it? Let us go there. You'll get the chance to look at that great bow that is there, present there. அப்பேற்பட்ட ஒரு பெரிய weapon it is. It was bestowed upon the ancestors of the current Janaka by the Devatas themselves, and it is so powerful that neither Devas, neither Gandharvas, nor Asuras, nor Rakshasas are able to even string that bow. Forget it, lifting it and using it, they are not even able to string that bow. Appearpatta Shakti adukku. Many mighty princes and kings have also failed. Nobody has been able to succeed in even stringing that bow. That is an extraordinary bow. If you come with me, you will be able to see that bow. It is a very important treasure inside the Janaka's palace. Usually people will not be able to see it because he is doing a yajna. It will be brought out at that time, we can all see it. அதனால வாப்பா, come with me அப்படின்னு சொன்னார். There is another story obviously to it. The bow comes with strings attached. It is not a bow that comes without any strings attached. The string has not been attached, but if you attach the string, then there are strings attached. என்னது அப்படின்னா, Janaka Maharaja has said whoever can string that bow will get Sita given to him in marriage அப்படின்னு விட்டார் இல்லையா? அதனால சும்மா வரல, it's got strings attached. அதை சொல்லிவிட்டாருன்னா அந்த பசங்க வராதுகள். இப்பவே அதை சொல்லிவிட்டா, now itself say, hey, there is a nice girl called Sita, she is appropriate for you, let's get married அப்படின்னா this fellow will balk, மாட்டேம்பன். அதனால விஸ்வாமித்ரா knows how to tackle this fellow. இவனுக்கு ஆசை காமிக்கிறதுக்கு என்னன்னா, பெரிய தனுஷ் இருக்கு, a great சிவதனுஷ். ஏன்னா he is an archer இல்லையா? சில பீப்புளுக்குலாம் அந்த கிரேஸ் ஃபார் கன்ஸ் இருக்கும், வெப்பன்ஸ் எல்லாம் கிரேஸ் இருக்கும். சில பேருக்கெல்லாம் கலெக்ட் பண்ணிட்டே இருக்குதுகள். அமெரிக்காலலாம் they will have a collection of swords, a collection of knives எல்லாம் இருக்கும். சில கிறுக்குகள்லாம் இருக்கும். அந்த மாதிரி இங்கே this fellow, young boy, 12-year-old boy, he is an archer. அதுவும் he has successfully just now shown the power of his archery. எல்லாம் பண்ணதுக்கு அவனுக்கு what will be very interesting to him அப்படின்னா, ஒரு mighty bow, such an extraordinary, so powerful, nobody has even been able to string it அப்படின்னாலே ஒரு challenge. அப்படின்னு he is tackling him through that. விஸ்வாமித்திரர் ரொம்ப கெட்டிக்கார தாத்தா, நல்ல கெட்டிக்கார தாத்தா, வயசு இல்லையோ, என்ன பழந்து தின்னு கொட்டை போட கழம்னு சொல்லுவா. He knows human psychology, how to tackle these boys. Let us tempt them with bow and arrow அப்படின்னு சொல்லி, பெரிய போ இருக்குடா, do you want to come and see? இவன் என்ன சொன்னா, wherever you ask us to go, we will go, we will come அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டான். Father said, you go and obey Vishwamitra Maharshi, so we have come. உடனே அங்க இருந்து Vishwamitra looks at all the people that were, all his disciples. Not all of them are coming with him. அதனால they looked at all of them. அவளும் வரா போல் இருக்கு, அவளும் கிளம்புறா. ஆனா அழகான ஒரு பியூட்டிஃபுல் ஜங்ஷன் ஸ்ரீமத் ராமாயணம். The yajna has been completed. Vishwamitra Maharishi had been staying there in that particular section of the forest in order to perform this yajna. Once it has been completed, he is leaving from that place. அப்போ என்ன பண்றாருன்னா, before leaving, what he does, something very beautiful. Swastivosthu gamishyami siddha siddhi siddhashramadaham uttare jannavi tire himavantam shilochayam. அங்க இருக்கிறவா எல்லாருக்கும் சொல்றாரு, he takes leave of all the vanadevataha அப்படின்னு சொல்றார். all the vanadeva, all the being, vanadevata அப்படின்னா the deities of the forest னு அர்த்தம். or deities of the forest அப்படின்னா all the trees, all the animals, all the natural landmarks, the rivers, the mountains எல்லாம் vanadevata தான். So his job is done. அதனால நான் I came here, I settled here, I finished my job, I'm going இல்ல. He looks at all of them and he says, you have given me shelter here for so long. By your grace I have been able to live here. அதனால may good come to you. I have performed my yajna. Now I am taking leave of you. அப்படி நமஸ்காரம் சொல்றார். And when he says that, he says from now on I am going to go to Himavanta mountain. I am going to the Himalaya mountain to do rest of my tapasya there. அதனால I am taking leave. அப்படின்னு he tells all of them, he takes leave of all of them. அப்படி சித்தாசிரமத்தை அப்படி வலம் வந்துட்டு they go around சித்தாசிரமா, ஆசிரமத்தை வலம் வரா. வீடு தானேன்னு இல்லையா, எல்லாம் தெய்வ சாநித்தியம். If you look at it in the right way, all nature, everything that we use, even our implements that we use, everything is filled with Daivi Shakti. Everything is Bhagavan's representation to assist us, to help us, to protect us, to nourish us. எல்லாம் நல்லது இருக்கு. Just depends on our bhava, how we look at everything. Kriya Maharshi Vishwamitra, what does he do? அப்படின்னா he prostrates, he salutes, he takes leave, he expresses his gratitude to all the people, all the living creatures that are there in that forest. எல்லாருக்கும் நமஸ்காரம். All the Vaidikas who are staying there also follow him. எல்லாமே ஒரு 100, nearly 100 carts and carriages they are all going. And as they are all going, அங்க பார்த்தா மிருக பக்ஷி கணாஸ்சைவ சித்தாஸ்ரம நிவாசினஹ அனுஜக்முர் மகாத்மானம் விஸ்வாமித்ரம் மகாமுனிம் நிவர்த்தயாமாத தத பக்ஷி சங்கான் மிருகானபி அப்படின்னு. மிருக பக்ஷி கணாஹ, மிருக பக்ஷி கணாஹ, all the animals and the birds that were all Siddhashrama Nivasinaha who were living in Siddhashrama, because Maharshi Vishwamitra is leaving and going, they all followed him, it seems. Siddhashrama was in the forest. In the forest, என்ன animal இருக்கும்? What animals will be there? அப்படின்னா all kinds of wild animals will be there in that forest இல்லையா? And even those wild animals, all of them follow Vishwamitra, reluctant to leave him, reluctant to be separated from him. Even the animals followed him. அதனால்தான் விஸ்வாமித்ரான்னு பேர் அவருக்கு. He had such extraordinary love for all the creatures also, not just for human beings. All creatures, he had so much love, they were able to feel that love. Perhaps even more than humans will be able to feel. அதனால they followed him, reluctant to be parted from him. They all followed him. Until Nivartayamasa, அவர் சொல்லாராம், he says, no, you all please go back. நீங்களாம் திரும்பி போங்க. You all have to go back. Because where I am going is inside the city. I am going to Mithila, the city. And the city, it is all human habitation. You should not come there. You people should not come there. அதனால you please go back, return home. அப்படின்னு சொல்றாரு. He persuaded them all to return. ஏன் அப்படின்னா, நீங்களா சந்தோஷமா இருங்கோ, at least you are all happy in the forest. Why unnecessarily come into the city? அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு he says, you all stay in the forest itself, be happy here itself. அப்படின்னு he sends them back. அப்பேற்பட்ட ஒரு பிரேம இருக்கு, so much of love is there between this rishi and all the creatures that come into contact with him. அப்பேற்பட்ட ஞானிக்கு அந்த சக்தி உண்டு. All jnanis are filled with this kind of a shakti. Even animals will respond very sweetly and lovingly to them. பகவானோட கதையெல்லாம் நிறைய நம்ம பார்த்துருக்கோம். சுவாமியினுடைய கதையெல்லாம் நிறைய பார்த்துருக்கோம். We have seen in Swami's case how Saigita, how the various deer and rabbits and so on that he had, they will all stand so still when he is with them. We have seen with Ramana Bhagavan how the cows, even squirrels which are by nature so flighty, monkeys, all of those creatures also will stay still with him. இல்லை ஞானிகள் கிட்ட அந்த ஒரு, ஏன்னா அவள்கிட்ட ஒரு ஸ்டில்னஸ் இருக்கு இல்லையா. ரெண்டு விஷயம் இருக்கு. என்னன்னா, ஒன், they do not wish harm to anybody. Therefore, they are constantly giving out a vibration of peace only, love only to everybody. Other, these animals are able to feel that, and they know that in this, from this person I have nothing to fear. அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு பாவம் அவளுக்கு தெரியும். அபயம் கொடுக்கறாவா. They are able to give abhayam to all creaturesங்கிறதுனால the creatures are able to perceive that, they are able to feel that, therefore they are also very peaceful, very docile, very loving. பேர்பட்ட மகரிஷி விஸ்வாமித்ர மகரிஷி, அதனால all the animals also were reluctant to leave him. He sends them all back. இப்படியா the rishis, along with the others, some of the rishis who are coming along with them, Rama and Lakshmana, they all started to walk along. Throughout the day they walked. When the sun came down, they reached the banks of the river Sona. Sonangara river அங்க ஒன்று இருக்கு. ஷோனா கூலே சமாஹிதாஹா அப்படின்னு. அங்கே போனால் என்ன பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னா, சாயங்காலம் ஆயிடுத்து. அதனால as soon as evening came, they came to a river. What else is there to do? Snatva huta hutashana. Have a dip in the river. Did the sandhyavandanam. Jabam பண்ணாள். எல்லாம் முடிஞ்சாச்சு. அப்புறம் டின்னர் ஆயிடுத்து. Then they sat and had dinner. Still there is time. Bed time is not yet come. அதனால the boy sat down in front of Vishwamitra Maharishi. அவரோ கதையை சொல்லுவார். He has many stories. அதனால they sat down. கதை கேட்கணும். You have to ask for the story. எப்படி கேட்கணும்னா, ஏதாவது கதை சொல்லுங்கன்னு கேட்கக்கூடாது. Tell us some story அப்படின்னு கேட்கக்கூடாது. ஸ்பெசிஃபிக்காக கேட்குறாவா, வெரி நைஸ்லி, வெரி ஸ்பெசிஃபிக்கலி, வெரி பியூட்டிஃபுல்லி. இதுவும் ராமர்கிட்டேருந்து கற்றுக்கணும். கற்பார் ராமபிரானை எல்லாம்னா இதுவும், திஸ் இஸ் ஆல்சோ சம்திங் யூ டு லேர்ன் ஃப்ரம் ராமா, ஹவு டு ஆஸ்க் அப்படின்னு. சில குழந்தை எல்லாம் கேட்கும், ஏதாவது கதை சொல்லு, டெல் மீ அ ஸ்டோரி அப்படின்னு கேட்கும். அ ஸ்டோரி இஸ் நாட் த ரைட் வே டு ஆஸ்க் த கொஸ்டின். வெரி ஸ்பெசிஃபிக்லி சொல்கிறா பகவன். இந்த இடம் இருக்கே, இது ரொம்ப அழகாக இருக்கே. திஸ் பிளேஸ் இஸ் வெரி ஷைனிங், வெரி லக்ஸூரியன்ட். திஸ் பிளேஸ் இஸ் filled with resplendent radiance in this place. What is this place? இதை பற்றி சொல்லுங்க, ப்ளீஸ் tell us about this place அப்படின்னு they ask. ராமா asks விஸ்வாமித்ரா. விஸ்வாமித்ரா உடனே ஒரே சந்தோஷம், கதை சொல்ல ஆரம்பிச்சுட்டு, சொல்கிறேன், கதை சொல்கிறேன், கேளு, I'll tell you the story. மகாதபாஹா, ஒரு கிரேட் ascetic, a person of extraordinary tapasya called Kusha was born to Brahma. Brahmaku பிறந்தார் அவர். He was created directly by Brahma, a great sage called Kusha. And that great sage called Kusha married the princess of Vidarbha Desha, and he had 4 sons, Kushambha, Kushanabha, Adhurta Rajas and Vasuhu. அப்படின்னு 4 sons he had. And when those 4 sons came of age, அவளுக்கு சொன்னா, my sons, you look after this kingdom that we have here, and all righteousness will come to you, all good will come to you. அப்படின்னு சொல்லி the 4 people, 4 cities were constructed for these 4 sons. Each of them could have one as their capital, one as their abode. Kushamba constructed a city called Kaushambhi. Kushanabha Mahodaya அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு city he established for himself. Adurta Rajas had a city called Dharmaranya, and Vasumati அப்படிங்கிற இடம், Girivraja அப்படிங்கிற இடம், was the city of Girivraja was made for Vasu, and this place where we are living is called Vasumati. The Vasunuடைய இடம் இது, and it is surrounded by beautiful 5 shining mountains, and Sonangara and the Sumagadiங்கிற the river is also flowing here. மகத தேஷா அப்படிங்கிற இடம், கிரிவிரஜாங்கிறது தான் அப்புறமா இதுவாக இருந்தது. அப்படி these 4 sons were settled. Among those 4 sons, Kushanabha was like Rajarishi. He was like a great royal sage. His mind was given over to dharma. He married an apsaras called Gritachi, and he had 100 daughters. 100 daughters were born to Kushanabha and Gritachi. One day what happened, these very beautiful 100 princesses, they were all playing happily in the garden. They were very, very happy. They were playing in the garden when Vayu, the god of wind, happened to see these girls. And then as soon as he saw them, they were so beautiful, he was smitten by their beauty. And he said, "You all become my wives. I like all of you, I will marry all of you, you all become my wives. Come, I will take you from here. If you marry me because I am a Deva, you will also attain immortality. You will leave aside this mortality and attain a long life. Adanala, you come along with me. Youth alla unstable, especially as a human being, what youth you have is all very limited. On the other hand, if you marry me, you will become ever youthful like Devatas." Appadinu he told them. The rendu vidathila irukku enna appadina onnu, Vayu is a god. These are all young girls, and these young girls were first quoted by Vayu. That itself is a matter of great honor and pride for them. Vayu himself is asking us to be his wife. Secondly, he is also offering them a very tantalizing reward for that. He says, "If you marry me, you will never lose your youth. You will never lose your beauty. You will always be young." Who doesn't want to always be young? Ellarkume man or woman, everybody wants to always be young. Adanala, he is offering them these wonderful temptations. These girls are well brought up girls. Nala vachana, "Hey, you cannot talk to us in this manner. We are all daughters of Kushanabha." Rishi Drima, do you know who such an extraordinary Rishi our father is? You cannot come here and speak to us in this manner. Go away from here. We will not do anything without consulting with our father. Get away from here, otherwise we will curse you. We have got enough tapashakti within ourselves. We can even curse you, but we don't want to do that because we will lose our tapashakti. Therefore, you please leave from here. Do not insult us like this. Do not dishonor our father. If you want, you must go directly to our father and speak to him to seek our hands. You cannot come directly to us and tempt us in this manner. This is what you have done is not right. Adanala, go away from here. He will choose the appropriate bridegrooms for us as per his knowledge and as per dharma. Do not unnecessarily misbehave with us. Appadinu sonna. The Vayu became very angry. Adanala enna pannaru appadina, Vayu entered into their joints. Vayu entered into their limbs. Vayu entered into their bodies and distorted them. Generally, when too much Vayu comes in Ayurveda, all kind of arthritic pains are all because of Vayu only. Ayurveda padi, if Vayu becomes too much in the body, limbs will become distorted. They become bent, crooked, etc. Can't straighten the thumbs, fingers, those kind of things will be there for people. Basically, and the bone and joint disorders, bone and joint disorder, most of it, all of it actually is all associated or given over to Vayu in Ayurveda. If Vayu is too much, all these problems will happen. And Vayu is also responsible for old age. Vata, Pitta, Kapha Vatam is what is causing old age. As you grow older, Vata will grow increase in us. When we are children, Kapha. In middle age, Pitta. As we grow older, Vayu is the main thing. Vata becomes the most important. Old people are knees are paining, back is aching, other hurting, all kinds of hurt and aches will come because in our Ayurveda they found out that Vata component automatically increases, and as it increases, it brings old age. In order to punish them, he made their bodies all disfigured and painful. And with the shattered bodies, the poor girls, they entered into the house and went and with tears in their eyes, they went and stood in front of their father. Chicho, what happened to you? Why are you all like this? You went out to play in a nice way. Send the girls out to play, look how they come back. When they came and cried there, the Raja asked them, "What happened to you? Tell me the story. What happened? Who has done this to you? Tell me." அப்படின்னு சொன்ன உடனே இவாள்லாம் உடனே the girls immediately told the father, Appa, Vayu has done this to us. He came to us and asked us this. We said we will not submit to him. If at all he wants to, he has to talk to you. You are the right person to decide who we should get married to. We do not have the independence or the freedom to choose who we will get married to. As parents, you alone should decide who we should get married to. Nowadays, a lot of youth say, I cannot get married to somebody I do not know. I can't get married to somebody I don't know. It's very common. Many youth say that. So what are you going to do? Are you going to live with somebody until 60 years of age and then decide that you know that person and get married? You don't know yourself. You don't even know yourself. How on earth are you ever going to know another person? How long will you have to be with them to get to know them? No matter how many years you spend with them, you will still not know them. Ask couples who have lived together for 50, 60 years. Do they know each other? அப்படின்னா நோன்னு தான் சொல்லணும். இன்னும் சுயமேவ நமக்கு நம்மளே தெரியாது. We do not even know ourselves. இதை விட ஒரு foolishness I cannot find. Most of the youth, that's why I feel I despair sometimes for the future of humanity. Most youths are idiots. What to do? அவன் சொல்ற I cannot marry somebody I don't know. ஒன்னே தெரியாதே உனக்கு. You don't even know yourself. எப்படி தெரிஞ்சுக்க போற? How are you? What do you mean by knowing that person? What is the meaning of knowing that person? சொல்லுங்க பாப்போம். In English, to know a person has a completely different meaning. Completely different meaning. In fact, you are not supposed to know that person until you get married. In English, old English, biblical English, if you look at biblical Bible, he knew her. That means they got married and they were together. So, is that what youth want to do before getting married? I do not understand sometimes. I cannot get married to somebody I don't know. You cannot know, first of all. That means you should never get married. Or you should live with them until both of you are 80 years of age and then perhaps think of getting married. Otherwise, how will you know? Enna knowing irukku? The way marriages were arranged, Sri Rama, we have to learn from Rama. How is marriage arranged? There is no need for the boy and girl to know each other. It is important for the parents to know each other, for the clans to know each other, for the entire clan to know each other. They will find out who is his father, who is the father's father, and the father. Diseases are hereditary. Depression is hereditary. So many such things are hereditary. They will not look at all of that. I always get really annoyed with this. Even for a dog, we see pedigree. Even for a horse, we see pedigree. Or a thoroughbred horse, race horse, or blue ribbon dogs, they will see pedigree. For dogs and horses, when we can trace ancestry and pedigree, if for human beings we cannot trace it, we are worse than dogs and horses. I don't know the person. There is no need for you to know the person. If the families are known, most likely 90% of the genetic disposition of the person is already known by looking at the families. Otherwise, what you will not know is that how they will change, what genes will start showing their effect when they are 50 years old, when they are 45 years old. I have a very good friend who used to say, if you want to know how your wife will be, just look at your mother-in-law. Look at how your mother-in-law is, how your mother-in-law behaves, you will find out how it is. Generally itself, as you grow older, you can find out that unconsciously or unconsciously, you will be the splitting image of your own father or mother. And the very same things that you found annoying in their behavior, you will start to demonstrate without knowing. Most people will end up doing that. When they are about 45, 46 years, 50 years of age, they will decide, what I used to find really irritating in my father, I am doing the same thing. It is hereditary. At 20, At 24, their behavior will be completely different. But as they grow older, their behavior will start to slowly change. It will mirror how their parents. But who should you look at? If you want to get married to somebody, you should look at the father-in-law. You should look at the mother-in-law. How they are, that is most likely how your children, how your husband or wife also will be. Most likely. Edu inherited thane, genetic thane idellamo. It's amazing when you observe, even the way a child sits and reads a book. I have seen, with the little ones, I have seen the way they sit and read a book. Unconsciously, they will take a seating posture. Unconsciously, they will keep a hand posture, hand gesture. They are engrossed in the book they are reading. Ana, they are the splitting image of the parents. They have not looked at us and done it. Ana, when we were young, that is exactly how we used to sit. Who taught them that? Amazing. Even such small behavioral mannerisms also we tend to inherit. Appo greater behavioral attributes inherited. Loyalty, truthfulness, fidelity in marriage, openness, transparency, bullying, domination. This all we will inherit. Is it not important then to look at the families to get an understanding of how this person is going to turn out, rather than just simply saying, I don't know the person? You are an idiot. If you insist only on you with your own at youth, between 25 and 30 years of age, how much of the world have you seen? How much can you depend upon your own intelligence, which is sorely lacking in the knowledge that comes only through experience, which parents have? Because they have not gone to some special university, they have gone to the school of hard knocks called the world. Adibatu they have learnt. They have learned, they have seen people, they have seen how people can change, they have seen how people can cheat, they have seen how people can smile in one way and do something else completely different. They have seen all of that. Therefore, they are in a better position to judge and understand. The story of Kushanabha, I love it. I really like it very much, because the girls go and tell their father, how can we choose when you are the one that should be choosing? As parents, you should be choosing our partners. We do not have any right whatsoever to choose the children. This is what happened, Pa. Even though Vayu came and behaved in this manner, we did not do anything to him. We bore his punishment and we came back. The girls say, we will stop here. How Kushanabha responds to that, what does he say to all of that in Gadanam? Tomorrow we will continue. We will continue to see. जानकी कांत स्मरणम जय जय राम राम आंजनेय स्वामी की जय। सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु। शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। हरि ओम तत्सत्। श्री साई ईश्वरार्पणमस्तु।